So now I would like to give the floor Augustina.
Thank you, Chair, for giving me the floor. I'm Augustina Chakma, representing PCJSS from Chattagram Hill Tracts in Bangladesh. We felt grief, we felt pain, we felt hopelessness, and we felt fear as the world gathered together and during the COVID-19 pandemic, when many of us will have lost our lives, our jobs, and even our livelihoods. The suffering from the pandemic that the world has been experiencing is a preview of the traumatic experiences that the Indigenous peoples have been living with their whole lives. Not only do Indigenous people deal with the COVID-19 virus, they encounter with land loss, suppression, oppression, and human rights violations. In Bangladesh, the government capitalized the COVID-19 pandemic to even further deprive the Indigenous people's rights, as they are already leading miserable lives at the face of food shortages, loss of livelihoods, unemployment, being unable to sell their commodities in the market, limited access to healthcare services, little or no government relief, militarization, criminalization of Indigenous rights activists, land grabbing, and enacting violence against women. As per the CHT Accord of 1997, the Land Commission was formed to resolve the land disputes. Despite the accord, the government continues to encroach the Indigenous people's lands. In the plains, during the COVID-19 crisis, land grabbing cases were reported in different districts. And in Chattagram Hill Tracts, known as CHT as well, land grabbing is a normalized phenomenon. During the pandemic, individual land grabbers, private companies, and security forces continue to occupy territories of Indigenous communities. Moreover, the Bangladesh armies operate corporate businesses in CHT and forcibly take away thousands of acres of traditional and shifting cultivation land without prior and informed consent. As an example, they are setting up a luxury hotel and an amusement park which will affect about 10,000 June cultivators of the Moro people in Bardhaman. Furthermore, Kapang Foundation reported at least 6,500 acres of land belonging to the Indigenous people were either occupied or undergoing the process of occupation between March and June 2020. Besides the military's continued operation, there were allegations of human rights violations against Indigenous leaders, activists, and prisoners in CHT, targeted by the police and vigilante groups. According to the CHT Commission's report, these groups had picked up at least 29 Indigenous people between January to May 2020. The effects of the COVID-19 may pass for certain parts of the world and for certain groups, but the Indigenous Juma people will continually live their lives with hopelessness, fear, grief, and pain as the world moves forward. I therefore would like to urge this permanent forum to encourage the government of Bangladesh to follow the UN Declaration on the Rights of the Indigenous People by ensuring that the socioeconomic, political, cultural, and land rights are with the Juma people in Chattagram Hill Tracts. Thank you once again for giving me the floor.